Welcome to another stock chart analysis video, and here are the 10 stocks na pag-uusapan ko sa video na to. Kung meron kayong mga stocks na gustong mapag-usapan pero hindi kasama sa 10 stocks na to, you can just comment down below at pag-uusapan ko yan sa mga succeeding stock chart analysis videos. So the candle basis for this video is October 17. So the last trading day of the week, itong Friday. So, hindi ko na pag-uusapan yung PSEI sa video na to because I uploaded a video nung October 16 and for me, wala naman masyadong difference na nangyari since halos 2 trading days lang naman yung nangyari. So, you can just visit that video if you want to check yung analysis ko with regards to the PSEI. So, punta na tayo sa unang stock na pag-uusapan. So, that's Costco. So, andito na tayo sa chart ng Costco, and if you're new to this channel, so the reason why merong mga drawings dito, that just means napag-usapan ko na to before. And the blue vertical line represents the last time na napag-usapan ko yung stock na to. So, for Costco, nung last kong napag-usapan, September 8. So, more than a month ago. And ang ibig sabihin nitong mga horizontal lines na may nakalagay na letter R and a corresponding number is yan yung resistance, no? Yan yung mga levels na inaasahan ko na magkakaroon siya ng significant price interaction. So, hindi lang nakikita dito kasi na-covered na since matagal na nung last kong napag-usapan. So, when you see the horizontal line na may nakalagay na S1, that just simply means na ayan yung support. So, yan yung unang support na nakikita ko in terms of the structure, no? So, this is your support 1 and this is the support 2. So, last September 8, of course, yung mga candles na to, no, onwards, wala pa yan. And we were able to plot the significant levels sa Costco. So, during this time kasi, yung original talaga na resistance ng Costco is yung range high niya dito sa 7.18. That's why we have a resistance 1 here. So, nagtry siya mag-breakout nung August 29, but it failed and it created a new swing high. That's why nalabel ko to as R2. But I still maintained yung R1 as the resistance kasi important level siya. And then I also plotted R3 here in anticipation for the resistance niya na multi-year high. So, anong nakikita natin sa Costco after that September 8 analysis? So, as expected, yung S1 nag-serve as the support for this stock. So, kita nyo naman na ilang beses niyang tinatry butasin itong S1 na support. So, that's near 6.90 na price level. But, hindi talaga siya nagko-close. So, that means malakas na support siya. Until eventually, it made a confirmed breakout, no? Around 2 to 3 weeks after. So, nag-breakout siya dito sa R1. And then, with a good follow-through nung September 29, it also made a breakout dito sa R2. And, of course, as expected, natamaan niya yung resistance dito sa 7.87 and the buying pressure wasn't enough to overcome itong resistance niya. And, I think I mentioned din sa last video na 8 was also a significant area because it's a cyc resistance. Although, syempre, ifa-follow talaga natin yung structure. So, possibly, traders or investors sold here because of the R3 resistance. Tapos, gusto na nilang unahan, no? Yung 8 na resistance dyan. And, nagkaroon ng pullback towards the MA20 in confluence with the previous resistance. So, this just confirms na nag-roll reversal na itong level na to. So, I'm going to change this level into a support kasi nag-confirm naman na, no? And this R1 na resistance, papalitan ko na rin yan at gagawin ko ng S2. So, these are the significant levels for Costco. I think 7.39, 7.40, and S2, 7.17 and 17.18. So, I'm going to remove S1. Para sa akin, hindi na siya significant sa ngayon. And since the consolidation is already done, pwede ko na siyang tanggalin. And we're going to retain this level as the resistance. Pero this time, since may onting overshoot, yung 7.87 to 7.90, yan na yung gagawin ko na R1 levels. Along with the 8 price area. So, 7.87 to 8 yung possible na resistance niya in the coming days or weeks, depende sa galaw ng Costco. So, for Costco, the trend is still definitely intact kasi hindi nga niya nabutas yung MA20, no? But I think in the coming days or weeks, with how the market is doing, tapos merong mga stocks na mas maganda pa yung play, baka mag-consolidate lang yung Costco in the short term. Yung ayaw ko lang sigurong mangyari dito sa Costco is if it makes a heavy sell down and it breaks the S1 support pag umabot pa siya dito sa S2, may confluence sa MA50, the consolidation can be much larger, no? Ito yung pwede niyang i-occupy na area if S2 becomes a strong support for Costco. So, ibig sabihin, matagal na naman na antayan yan. As you can see, sa Costco, nag-start yung consolidation around June and na-overcome niya lang yung consolidation September 29. So, lagpas 3 months, nearing 4 months, no, before siya nakapag-breakout. So, if that same move happens, ibig sabihin, January or February pa ulit yung breakout nito pag naging malaki yung consolidation niya. And if this makes a breakdown pa sa S2 and it revisits this previous support level, it's also a possibility na mag-create siya ng complex na head and shoulders na pattern. So, pwede kasing ito yung kanyang left shoulder, no? Tapos, it can create this head part here. Tapos, hindi naman ibig sabihin na kasing haba nung consolidation na ginagawa niya yung right shoulder, no? The right shoulder can be until here lang or it can be here. So, hindi natin masasabi for certain. But, if it indeed makes a breakdown sa S2, tapos tumaas siya para mag-rally, tapos napigilan nitong S1, kasi magiging resistance yan when the prices move here, then pwede niyang gawin yung head and shoulders pattern. So, simple lang naman yung magiging next na pattern target natin. We're just going to plot the peak of the head, tapos dito sa neckline, and then we're just going to place the price range here. So, ibig sabihin, at a minimum, ito yung pwede niyang puntahan kapag sobrang lakas talaga ng selling pressure pag nag-breakdown siya dun sa HNS na pattern, no? And it corresponds with the psych support sa 6. Tapos, meron pang previous consolidation dito, which could indicate na ito yung major support area niya. And posibleng mangyari because if it makes a breakdown sa 6.90 na area, ibig sabihin lahat ng sumalo dito, no, pwede silang mag-cut loss. So, it can further aggravate yung selling na mangyayari pag nag-breakdown siya dyan. So, ibig sabihin, ang gusto nating mangyari for Costco, mag-breakout na siya as soon as possible dito sa 8 na price area tapos hindi na siya mag-close below because the longer it makes a consolidation, the higher the chance na mag-drop siya lower since ang taas na nung ginawang rally nito, no, from its previous base. So at these levels, nag-increase na siya ng 43%. So, definitely, pag nagko-consolidate ng matagal tas nagbe-breakdown, para sa akin, distributive na yun. So, ayun yung gusto kong gawin ng Costco. Mag-close na siya above 8 and not close below it para hindi maging distributive yung ginagawa niya for the past few weeks or months. So, next up, Robinsons Land. So, the last time that I talked about this stock, September 10, so more than a month already. And during this period, yung stock na to, nag-hover lang siya near its major resistance dito sa R1 and R2, no? So, unfortunately, hindi niya nalagpasan yung R1 and R2 resistance niya. Kung nalagpasan niya sana yan, posibleng ma-hit niya yung R3 resistance. So, it looks like nadamay, no, sa nangyaring sell-off sa overall market natin. And probably may effect din since nagkaroon ng sell-down sa RCR. So, sa REIT stock ng Robinson, no? So, what happened after the failed breakout ng stock na to? It just went back doon sa consolidation levels niya, no? So, for me, ang kailangan natin gawin dito is just simply readjust yung resistance and support levels. Since, ibig sabihin, wala rin siyang masyadong ginawang difference compared sa last time since binalikan niya yung ginagawa niyang base, no? So, previously, I plotted the S1 support here sa 15.08 na level. So, tatanggalin ko na yan. Kasi, ito ng S2, yung gagawin ko na S1 niya na support. Kasi, we can clearly see na meron ditong double bottom before. Tapos, I can already consider this as a triple bottom, no? Sa short-term na galaw niya. And I'm going to remove this R2 level. Tapos yung R1 na yung ilalagay ko dito sa swing high niya sa 15.66. And I'm just going to increase the size of the box. So, ito na yung consolidation ng Robinson Land, no? And itong resistance niya na na-plot ko before sa 1650 to 16.70 area, gagawin ko na tong R2. So, for now, the long-term uptrend is still intact. As you can see, hindi pa naman siya nagkakaroon ng confirmation breakdown below the MA100. And this price area near 14, nag-hold pa, no? Pero in the short term and medium term, definitely it's already in a consolidation. Kasi if we're going to look closely sa galaw ng RLC. Since first week July pa siya, nagkakaroon ng consolidation no, after the breakout nung July 2. So, basically, 3 months na siya na nagmo-move ng sideways. So, ibig sabihin lang yan, it needs to make a breakout no, outside this range in order to negate yung consolidation na ginagawa niya. So, pag nag-breakout kasi ito sa R1, that means short-term uptrend na siya. Tapos yung galaw ng MA50 along with the MA100 moving diagonally upwards na. So, it could signal na pwede na siyang mag-transition into a medium-term uptrend and the further continuation nung long-term uptrend niya, no? Pero syempre, kailangan niya talagang malagpasan itong R2 levels niya para maging malakas yung galaw ng stock. Because yung R2 levels niya no, is actually the 52-week high at the moment. So, whenever stocks go above their 52-week highs, syempre maganda yung nagiging galaw niyan most of the time. No? So, yung hindi maganda dito for Robinson Land is for it to make a breakdown sa S1. Because if it makes a breakdown sa S1, then the next possible support could be around this area kasi may previous consolidation. So, ibig sabihin, dito sa around 13 na price area yung S2 and sa bottom nitong range niya, around 1250 yung possible na S3, no? Kapag nag-breakdown sa S1. And I think, hindi magiging maganda yun kasi sobrang laki ng consolidation na ginagawa niya. Pag nag-cut loss yung mga sumalo dito at nag-decide na mag-profit take yung mga nakakuha dito sa ilalim before the trend reversal, hindi malabo na abutin niya yung mga prices na to, no? So, ito yung level na kailangan bantayan. S1 and the R2 for this stock. So, next stock na pag-uusapan, that's Ayala Land. So, for Ali, last time na napag-usapan ko to, medyo recent. So, about 2 weeks ago, no? Nung October 2. So, when I talked about this stock, kaka-breakdown pa lang niya sa support. So, yung R1 na to, syempre previous support yan, no? So, I just converted this into a resistance nung nagkaroon na ng breakdown. So, nagkaroon ng downgrade because itong S1 na to, ito yung previous S2 niya. And itong S2, ito yung S3 niya before. So, meron kasi tayo ditong double bottom. That's why I think this is already a strong support for Ali, no? So, possible triple bottom next week kung matouch man niya yan. So, I think if the PSEI or the overall market improves, pwedeng mag-bounce yung Ali sa S1 na price area na to. Pero, pag nagkaroon pa ng further selling or humina yung market, then it could revisit again itong price niya sa S2 because ito na yung major support, no? Pero, grabe talaga yung ginawa ng stock na to. So, the last time that I reviewed this, ilang weeks siya, no? Na dire-diretsong pababa. So, that's 3 weeks, no? Nearing 4 weeks na pababa lang yung galaw. And after that, no? After 2 weeks nung October 2, dire-diretso pa rin yung pababa. So, technical-wise, I don't like the look of this stock simply because kahit mag-bounce siya dito sa S1, ang dami niya na kaagad resistance, no? So, even if it makes a bounce sa S1, within the 10% range, andito kaagad siya sa R1. And even before it reaches the R1, nakaabang agad yung MA20 as the resistance. And after that, may R2 pa. And nakaabang na rin agad dyan yung MA100 and MA50. So, this simply means sobrang mahirapan itong Ayala Land na mag-go above 30 price area in the short term. So, I think it will take weeks to months before puntahan niya tong price na to, no? So, imagine that for about 1 month and 2 weeks or 1 month, 1 week, yung na-erase niya na gains is around 24-25%. So, alam naman natin na when it comes to selling, mas mabilis siyang nangyayari, mas mabilis niyang na-erase yung mga gains compared sa stock na pataas, no? Na nagke-create pa lang ng mga gains. So, it means at a minimum, pwedeng 2 months, no? Before niya maabot yung 30 na price area. Unless may sobrang gandang sentiment na fundamentally towards Ali lang talaga para matulak siya pataas, no? Pero para sa akin, highly unlikely yung ganong klaseng galaw. So, ang pwedeng mangyari dito sa Ayala Land is it can either make a consolidation around this area. So, hindi ko sinasabing hanggang November lang, no? Yung consolidation na yon. So, sinobrahan ko lang to for emphasis lang na ayan yung pwede niyang galawan na range. So, pwede siyang makalabas dito sa box na to next week, end of the month, no? First week November, second week November. It just really depends sa market, no? And also, no, yung A-REIT nga, nagkaroon din ng bentahan and nag-sell down. So, Ayala Land being, of course, one of the companies related to that REIT, damay-damay na yan syempre. So, yun yung gusto nating mangyari dito sa Ali, no? At least man lang makabalik siya sa 26 na price levels, okay na yan. Or 27. Kasi by that time, above siya sa mga MAs, no? So, may chance siya na magkaroon ng bullishness kahit papano. Pero yun nga, I think mahirapan talaga tong mag-go above 30 in the short term or even the medium term. So, next stock na pag-uusapan, that's MWC. So, for Manila Water, the last time that I talked about the stock, October 3. And ito yung pinag-uusapan ko na pattern earlier, no, with regards sa Costco. So, as early as the first week of October, no, first few days ng October, I talked about MWC and sabi ko nga, ang pwedeng mangyari is kapag lumakas talaga yung stock and it makes a breakout from the resistance sa 42.57, the possible minimum target for the stock is 48.40 because it's the possible chart pattern target na ginagawa niya, no? And the R2 resistance could be 50 dahil psych resistant siya, no? And it's a significant price area, yung 50 na level. And inversely, sa bearish or negative na side of things, sabi ko dito sa MWC, it was forming a head and shoulders pattern, no? So, ito naman yung left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder. So, this arrow signifies lang na pag hindi siya nakalagpas ng 41.85, no? Ng 42 levels, pwedeng masunod talaga yung head and shoulders pattern kasi ito yung kailangan niyang mag-close above and break out from the R1 in order to negate the pattern. So, ang nangyari, nagkaroon lang din ng bentahan and this S1 support along with the S2 support should be a good and strong support na, no, for this stock kasi isipin nyo, triple bottom na yan, di ba? So, quadruple bottom dapat to kung nag-support siya. Kaso lang, hindi nangyari yun, no? And itong Friday nga, as you can see, nagkaroon ng selling, no? Although, mababa yung volume, pero definitely not good na nagkaroon ng breakdown sa dalawang support levels. So, of course, the HNS pattern target here is around 30.59, 30.16 na levels because pag plinat natin yung head papunta dito sa neckline ng pattern and then we just simply plot the breakdown here, we will arrive at the area around 30.6 na level, no? And it corresponds with a previous swing low support nung May 23. So, andito na tayo sa breakdown na yun. And at these levels, it's just a 11%, 12% drop to reach that. So, ibig sabihin, dalawang 6% drop lang yan or apat na 3%, no? Pwede niya nang mapuntahan yung levels na yan. So, it's indeed very possible that MWC reaches that area. So, ano yung possible negative na catalyst? So, we all know that the Maynilad IPO ay malapit na. So, probably some investors are tranching their position sa MWC, no? Probably taking profits or baka binabalance out lang nila yung kanilang holdings para yung kalahati ng allocation nila for utilities and services ilipat nila sa Maynilad, no? So, syempre, parehas lang naman silang may monopoly, no, sa tubig when it comes to the major cities in the country. So, it makes sense na kung mahilig ka sa utilities na mga stocks na bumili ka rin ng halos same na company niya, no? Iba lang yung management, iba lang yung ownership, pero it's basically the same business. And we can also say na kaya nagkakaroon ng sell down sa MWC because of course, the market has not been doing well as a whole sa mga past weeks, no? So, pwedeng damay-damay lang din, no, in terms of sell downs because MWC, no, is considered a mid-cap nearing big cap status. So, in between first liner and second liner siya, no? So, ito yung kailangan abangan for MWC. Yung area around 30.50 to 30.70 being 30.6 as the HNS pattern target. So, yung gagawin ko lang dito, i-adjust ko lang yung mga levels because yung S1, I think, is of course going to be a resistance. So, gagawin ko na tong R1. Tapos, yung previous R1 level, syempre R2. And itong level niya dito sa R2, syempre gagawin ko ng R3 yan. Tapos itong S2, pwede rin naman mangyari na overshoot lang itong breakdown niya sa S2. So, medyo malapit pa siya, although confirmed breakdown na yan. I'll just replace this as S1. Tapos, next week, if it indeed goes lower, then syempre magiging resistance agad to, no? And I think gagawin ko na lang range yung resistance na to para gagawin ko siyang both R1 since this level is significant already. So, itong S1, pwedeng maging resistance yan. And of course, the HNS pattern target which has a previous swing low before, syempre yan na yung possible na S2. And syempre, pag naging resistance tong S1, ito na yung magiging S1 na support, no? So, let's see in the coming days kung tatamaan talaga ng MWC yung HNS pattern target niya. So, next stock, that's MRC Allied. So, for MRC Allied, yung last time na napag-usapan ko yung stock na to, so more than a month ago, so that's September 10. So, I was able to plot 1.10 as the R1 here, no, because ito yung kanyang significant na resistance, no, nung first week November pa of last year. And I was able to plot also yung 1.17 to 1.18 resistance because of the previous support here. My double bottom in a very short-term period and 1.39 as the R3. Tapos, yung double top na resistance sa 1.55 to 1.56 as the R4. So, the line here na nasa ilalim, yung 0.97, actually average price ko yan. So, I'm using kasi the chart software ng broker ko and it automatically shows my average price, no? Kung saan ko nabili yung stock na to. So, if you've been following my channel for a while, you already know na matagal na ako may position sa MRC. So, I've been talking about this since late June or first week July pa and have covered about it intensively sa Momentum tier, sa membership group ng channel na to. And also recently, kasi meron din akong position trade na ginagawa dito sa isang portfolio ko. So, yung average price ko doon around 0.79. So, MRC, surprisingly, nagkaroon siya ng magandang breakout nung Thursday. So, October 16, no? And I say surprisingly kasi ang expectation ko nito baka November pa na magkakaroon ng breakout. Kasi looking at the movement nitong MRC, parang nagke-create siya dito ng consolidation, no, around this area. Tapos nakaka-encounter talaga siya ng heavy selling above 1 na price area. So I think when I talked about this different types of traders, below 97 yung price niya, parang somewhere around this area. I was expecting na magkakaroon lang siya ng consolidation. But I think may lumabas kasi na further disclosures, no, talking about the reports of the company, tapos napapag-usapan pa yung change in ownership structure. So probably yun yung sentiment na nagtulak, no, sa stock na to. Siguro maraming mga na-hype na mga traders or possibly some investors are looking at that disclosure as a good sentiment. So, ako naman, ever since nung napag-usapan ko tong MRC, sinabi ko naman na very speculative in nature yung play na to. So, I entered the stock simply because I like the technicals, no? So, I plotted the resistance sa 1.10 and 1.17 and 1.18. Tapos, ano yung nangyari? No? 1 month and a week after, hindi pa siya nakakalagpas sa 1.18. So, sumakto doon sa resistance, no? But the good thing about MRC, since nag-breakout na siya sa 1.10, ano yung nakita natin this Friday? Yung low niya 1.09, tas hindi na siya nag-close below 1.10. So, ang sinasabi sa atin yan, of course, the 1.10 area is now the support. So, na-convert na yung resistance na yun sa support. I'm going to adjust this R2 as R1 already. Tapos, yung R3 na resistance, syempre R2. And the R4 resistance, syempre R3 na yan. So, gusto ko yung ginawang galaw ng MRC since Thursday at nag-breakout siya. Yung hindi ko lang siguro gusto, dapat nag-confirm na yung breakout dito sa 1.18 at hindi na dapat siya nahirapan, no, na mag-breakout dyan since ang lakas na nung volume nung Thursday. So, probably a lot of profit taking happened, no, around this area. Pero maganda pa rin at hindi siya nagko-close below. So, ibig sabihin may mga traders or speculators pa dyan na sumasalo around this area. So, ang ayokong mangyari dito sa MRC, no, mag-close siya below 1.10. So, if that happens kasi, tapos mainip yung mga ibang traders or investors dito, then it can still go back and revisit yung previous base ng consolidation niya. So, ito nga yung na-drawing ko kanina, diba? So, pwede pa rin tong bumalik sa 0.91 along with the MA100 as the support. So, for me, next week, dapat mag-close na to above 1.18 eh. Dapat mag 1.20 na siya tapos hindi na pumunta sa ilalim. So, for me, that could potentially move the stock higher since hindi pa to nagkakaroon ng price rally. So, ako naman, ang objective ko sa stock na to is simply just swing trade. And yung isa, more on position trade talaga yun. So far, looking good for MRC. So, the next stock na pag-uusapan, so that's MWide. So, for MWide, last time na napag-usapan ko to, October 2. And during this period, ang na-plot ko nga na mga significant levels niya is this S1. So, between 2.95 and the 3 price areas, the psych support. So, range to, no? And of course, itong S2 because meron tayong previous resistance dyan nung September pa of last year. So, sabi ko nga, ito yung mga major support levels ng MWide. And as you can see, nung October 8, 9, and October 10, hindi na talaga siya nag-close below 3. So, I think a lot of swing traders, range traders were able to buy the stock sa levels na to. And medyo malakas yung volume, no, sa period na to, which explains the possible support that happened at kung bakit hindi niya nabutas yung 3 pesos. Also, during this period, nakita ko sa mga karamihan ng mga broker na recommendations, no? Marami talagang nagsasabi na MWide daw is a buy at 3. So, ako naman, hindi naman ako nag-add ng position dito. So, as you can see, I still have my position here sa 2.16. Kasi, matagal ko na rin napapag-usapan tong stock na to actually nung August pa, no? And I was able to add sa conviction na yon nung first week September. That's why mababa yung average price ko, no, compared sa possible entries sa stock na to. So, yung resistance ng MWide, itong R1, so that's 3.60. So, I remember sa last video na napag-usapan ko, ang gusto ko sanang gawin ng MWide, mag-consolidate lang siya around this area, no, and mag-close above 3.40. So, okay naman at after nearly 2 weeks, nagawa naman niya yon. And kanina nga, no, nag-attempt siya mag 52-week high breakout but mukhang nagkaroon ng profit taking because traders were able to buy this stock around 3, up na sila ng 20%. So, probably profit-taking nga talaga. And the reason why nagkaroon ng magandang galaw dito is because they announced officially na MWide already owns 10% of CREC. So, with the market cap of CREC na 50 billion, so basically MWide owns 5 billion of that, no? Kasi nga yung 10% na equity nila. If you're not familiar with that, yung MWide kasi, along with CREC and CREIT, owned yan by one group, no? So, mga sister companies sila. So, yung reason why MWide made this sobrang lakas na move is because may mga utang itong mga companies na to sa MWide and they repaid those advances with infusion ng cash tapos itong shares ng CREC, no? So, of course, nagkaroon ng pag-increase ng valuation ng MWide because during this period, yung market cap ng MWide less than 5 billion lang, no? So, isipin mo yon, ito yung price levels ng MWide. Tapos, nakuha niya lahat ng mga advances na yon. So, talagang pumatok yung stock. So, ngayon, we're going to adjust the levels for MWide. So, I think this level will become the S1. So, may consolidation kasi dyan. And as you can see, may resist na nangyari ng 15, no? May selling dito. So, for me, the S1 is 3.30 na price levels. Tapos, yung S2, syempre, itong level pa rin niya before. And yung S2, syempre, gagawin ko lang din naman yung S3. And for R1, for me, this is still going to be the same R1. Pero, ilalagay ko lang yung range, no? Dito sa peak na ginawa niya this Friday, no? So, 3.69. So, if it indeed makes a close above 3.60 or 3.69 soon, let's see the possible resistances na pwede niyang mahit. So, clearly, 3.80, yan yung possible na R2. And then, we have a resistance here sa 4 na may possible confluence sa psych resistance sa R3. And after that, another swing high here sa 4.33. So, that's your R4. So, definitely looking good for MWide despite hindi na confirm yung breakout, no? At least it's already official that they own 10% of CRIC, and as long as this does not close below 3, I think it can definitely move higher, no? Ang pwede lang sigurong negative dito is pwedeng matagalan pa yung consolidation kasi nakikita naman natin na may selling talaga above 3.30. So again, if you're new to this channel and haven't watched my previous videos, so I have a technical analysis course that will start this Saturday night. So this will be the last chance to apply for the technical analysis course. So sa technical analysis course na to, I'll cover my trading methodology, how I identify stocks to trade, how I plan to enter those stocks, and ano yung mga exit plans ko, no? So basically market timing and buying and selling. So pag-uusapan ko dito kung paano ko nakita yung MRC, M-wide, along with my other trades like SGP. So if you're interested, you can check the comment section below. So, andun yung details on how to apply for the course. So, balik tayo sa charts. So, the next stock na pag-uusapan natin, Pure Gold. So, Pure Gold, last time that I talked about this stock, October 2. And yan nga yung mga na-identify ko na levels. And during this period, Pure Gold was actually creating a large consolidation, no? So, yung bottom part ng range, 40.40, and the resistance at 45.90 na levels. Unfortunately, it made a breakdown nitong October 9. Tapos, after that breakdown, may further selling pa. Pero, nagkaroon nga ng support, no? Dito sa S2 along with the MA100. So, I believe, nung napag-usapan ko last time na mention ko doon na pwedeng humabol, no? Yung MA100 near the S2 prices. Pero S2 talaga yung magandang support nito. So after that bounce, I think lumakas yung market during this period, no? Kaya bumalik ulit siya dun sa loob ng consolidation. So akala mo overshoot lang nung breakdown, no? Tapos humina ulit yung market kaya bumaba ulit yung Pure Gold. And then for the second time in a very short period, nag-support ulit yung MA100. But this time, hindi enough yung buying pressure, no? Para ibalik ulit siya dito sa lower part ng consolidation. So, I'm going to remove this box, and itong S1, I'm going to convert this into a resistance already. So, kita naman natin na nahihirapan siyang bumalik dyan. So, that means may selling pressure around 40.50 plus na price area, no? So, R1 na to. And of course, yung mga other resistances niya, gagawin kong R2, R3, and of course, R4. And yung S2 na support, syempre S1 na yan. And for me, the next possible support area is this level kasi may consolidation, no? May double bottom din sa short term. So, around 36.50 na area, yan yung possible na S2. So, medyo malapit. And then, the bottom part of this previous range na may double bottom, yan yung gagawin natin na S3. So, sa ngayon, for Pure Gold, it looks like it's creating a downward channel move. So, ito siya. So, hindi ibig sabihin na aabot siya, no? Hanggang 32.50 na price area. In-extend ko lang yan to have a better visualization of the chart pattern na ginagawa niya. So, ibig sabihin lang nito, importante for Pure Gold na in the coming days, makapag-breakout siya dito sa pattern niya and overcome yung R1, no? So, dapat 42 yung area na puntahan niya tapos mag-close above doon because that would mean manenegate niya yung downward channel move tapos magiging above siya sa lahat ng MAs. So, yun yung possible way na makapagkaroon ng continuation yung play ng Pure Gold. Kasi kung hindi siya magbe-breakout dyan at hindi siya babalik sa 42 levels soon, pag hindi na kayanan ng MA100 itong selling na mangyayari, pag humina yung market, then wala na siyang ibang pupuntahan, no, kundi yung S2 na support. Kasi dyan na yung next na support niya eh. And even possible sa S3, kasi ayun naman yung mas stronger support para sa akin, no, compared dito sa S2. So again, it's not good when stocks that have increased by a significant percentage throughout the year ay nagkakaroon ng breakdown sa MA100 because that signals the shift in the medium-term and long-term projection of the stock, no? So, pag nag-breakdown yan sa MA100, mataas ang chance na magkaroon siya ng matagal na consolidation or further selling downward. So, either way, it's not good because when a consolidation happens, wala ka namang nakukuhang pera dyan at pagpababa yung stock, nagbabawas yung pera mo, di ba? So, sa Philippine stock market, being a long-only market, syempre gusto natin na yung stocks tumataas lang. At kung magkaroon man ng consolidation, dapat hindi ganun katagal yung consolidation, no? That's why kahit papaano okay pa yung mga breakdown sa MA20, MA50, no? As long as it's not reaching key support levels. Pero dito sa ginagawa ng Pure Gold, yung MA100 kasi nasa key support level na, no? Yung S1 na previously S2. So, dapat hindi na talaga mabutas itong S1 para magkabuhay pa yung Pure Gold. So, next stock, DNL. So, for DNL, the last time na review ko tong stock na to, October 9. So, I think last week lang. And na-mention ko nga doon na DNL has been moving in a downward channel na pattern. So, sobrang laki, no? Nakikita nyo naman, may trend line dito sa taas and may trend line sa baba. So, much like all the stocks that are moving in a falling wedge or downward channel na pattern, in order to negate the bearishness of that pattern, kailangan yung makalabas dun sa pattern na yun. And in this case, sa DNL, may consolidation pa dito. So, dapat makalagpas dapat siya sa 5.18, no, na price area. Kaso ang ginawa niya, no, after a few days, nung napag-usapan ko siya, nag-breakdown sa S1. So, as you can see, yung October 14, no? Kahit nga walang volume masyado, no? Enough na siya para matakot yung mga ibang investors or traders dyan. Kaya, nag-cut loss na talaga siguro sila or nag-take profit, no? So, of course, we've plotted S2 as the next support. At mukhang doon nga siya nakahanap ng support this Friday. Kasi hindi naman siya nag-close significantly below yung area na 4.60, 4.59. So, may overshoot lang, no? Pero nag-hold yung S2. So, pag nag-continue pa yung selling nito next week, then, of course, I'm expecting na puntahan niya yung S3 and possibly even the lower part ng downward channel niya, which is yung trend line na to sa baba, no? So, ibig sabihin, ito yung level kung saan major support niya. Yung S3 hanggang sa bottom trend line niya. So, definitely not looking good for DNL. Dapat nabutas niya tong 5.18 kaso walang enough buying pressure para matulak yung stock. And I think wala naman masyadong sentiment na lumalabas dito, no? So, ayun, mukhang nainip yung mga traders na sumasalaw dito sa consolidation tapos binitawan na yung stock. That's why nagkaroon ng grabing selling pressure. Or maybe there's a negative catalyst, no? Wala pa ako masyadong nababasa with regards to DNL. So, possibly kung wala, no, in hindsight malalaman natin yung reason ng sell down na yan. So, of course, we're going to adjust the levels for DNL. Syempre, itong S2, gagawin ko ng S1 because it's the current support. And the S3 support, syempre, gagawin kong S2. I'm going to remove this consolidation and I'm going to replace S1 with R1 resistance already. Tapos, yung R1 gagawin kong R2. And the R2 resistance range, syempre, R3 na yan. So, ayan lang yung gagawin nating adjustments for DNL. So, next stock, Monday. So, for Monday, last time na napag-usapan ko yung stock na to, October 3. And it was actually moving in a downward channel move also, no? Much like the other stocks na I've reviewed sa video na to. And nung nagkaroon ng breakout nung October 8, ayun yung nagkaroon ng negation doon sa downward channel move, no? At hindi na pumunta sa baba yung stock. So, baka iniisip nyo na every time nagkakaroon ng downward channel move, basta makalabas yung stock, automatic, tataas na siya, no? So, that's not true always, no? Mataas lang yung chance na pag nag-breakout siya sa downward channel move, magkakaroon ng buhay yung stock, no? Magkakaroon ng bullishness. Pero, wag nyong kakalimutan na walang kasiguraduhan pagdating sa stocks. So, kahit may downward channel yan, tapos nakapag-breakout, pwede pa rin niyang bumalik sa ilalim. So, kita nyo nga dito sa Monday nung October 8, nag-breakout. Tapos, October 9, nagkaroon ng follow-through. Yung stock pumunta ng 7.39 pero nagkaroon din ng selling, no? So, buti na lang, may sumalo ka agad para tulakan yung stock. Kasi kung selling yung nangyari dito, mataas yung chance babalik ulit yan dito sa loob ng downward channel niya. So, yung nangyari sa Monday, nag-resist yung R1, no? So, yung high nito 7.50, yung R1 natin nasa 7.56. So, a few ticks away na lang, matatamaan niya na yung resistance. So, probably, nag-unahan ng bentahan, no? They're not expecting na tataas pa yung Monday, kaya nag-lock in na ng profits. Kasi yung mga sumalo around this area, up na sila ng around 11 to 12%, no? Depende kung saan nila napulot yan. So, already significant gains, no, in less than 2 weeks. So ngayon, tatanggalin na natin tong downward channel niya since na-negate niya na yan. And ang ginawa lang naman ng Monday, nasa consolidation pa rin ulit siya. So ayan pa rin yung key levels na nakalagay, no, for Monday. So the key support area is still the bottom part of the range and R1, R2, and R3. So ayan pa rin yung significant resistances natin. So balik lang ulit sa consolidation for Monday Nissin Corporation. So expect natin na matagal pa tong consolidation na to, no, kung hindi gagalaw at hindi gaganda yung market. So next stock, SM Investments Corporation. So, last time na pag-usapan ko yung stock na to, September 12. So, that's 1 month and a week after. And yung na-plot ko na significant levels for this stock is, ayan, R1, R2, R3 hanggang R4. Along with the S1 and S2 support. During this period kasi, ang ginagawa ng SM, nagko-consolidate lang siya, no? So, because of the sell down sa market, being one of the stocks na may mataas na weight pagdating sa composition ng index, syempre damay-damay na yan. So, yung S1 na support, itong bottom part ng range, nag-overshoot siya, pero hindi naman siya nag-close below S2. So, ang gagawin ko lang na adjustments dito, lalakihan ko lang yung range kasi lumalaki yung consolidation niya. And I'm going to remove this S1 support already. So, clearly, hindi na nagkakaroon ng significant price interaction dyan. So, ito na lang yung support niya, no, yung S1. And still going to maintain this level as the R1. So, very significant level, yung 768.79. Kasi, ayun yung base nung previous consolidation yan. No? So, ito kasi yung consolidation ng SM before. Pumunta siya sa ilalim. So, I think if SM goes above 768, 769, 770 na area, crucial yan, no? Kasi it may signal the rally sa PSE. Gaya nga ng sabi ko, mataas yung weight ng SM sa composition ng index. So, pag tumaas yung SM dito, no, siguradong may galaw yan sa PSEI. And if it reclaims R2 na price area, so pag nag-800 yan, mataas ang chance na maganda yung galaw ng market niyan overall. Since SM is one of the market leaders nga, no, for the PSEI. And pag ginawa niya rin kasi to, above na rin naman siya sa lahat ng MAs. So this means nasa short-term uptrend na siya. And could possibly transition into a medium-term uptrend. Pero definitely sa long-term consolidation pa rin yan. So ito yung consolidation na ginagawa ng SM, pero on the short term, mukhang descending triangle yung ginagawa niya, no? So if you've watched my previous videos, madalas kong sinasabi na during this triangle patterns, most of the time, nagkakaroon na siya ng galaw 50 to 75% of the move. So kung titingnan natin yung chart pattern na to, yung triangle na ginagawa niya, halos nasa ano na siya, no? Nasa 50% nung buong pattern na yon. So ito. So ibig sabihin, next week, no? Up until the first week of November, no, yung few days after end of October, yung SM gagalaw na yan, no. It's either gonna make a breakout sa pattern na to, sa descending triangle, hindi ko sinasabi dito sa R1, sa descending triangle lang, or it can make a move downward, no. So, tingnan nga natin kung ano yung S2 nitong SM. So, medyo malayo na pala, no. So, pandemic close na yung sunod na support nito. So, around 509. Pero, tingnan pa natin towards the left kung may possible na support. So, I can see a double bottom na support dito, no? Possibly triple bottom at 600. So, significant psych support, no? So, tingnan natin in relation to the chart. So, medyo mas malapit pala yung 600. So, ibig sabihin, pwede natin i-plot yung 600 as the S2. Tapos yung 509 to 500, no? Yung pwede nating gawin na S3. Pero grabe, no? Sobrang baba nito, ha. Pag nabutas tong S1 tapos pinuntahan niya yung S2, S3, sigurado yung market natin yan nasa 5857 levels na, no? So dapat itong SM talagang ma-overcome niya na yung R1 resistance. And mas maganda syempre kung R2. Pero mukhang malabo mangyari in the coming days. Baka weeks pa, no? Yung kailanganin para makapag-breakout siya dyan sa R2. So, if you want to become a member of this channel sa Momentum tier and have exclusive access sa mga videos ko where I talk about stocks na hawak ko for the 24K to 1M challenge na portfolio, you can click towards the left. Or if you want to watch yung mga previous videos ko that not only covers technical analysis but trading psychology and risk management and trade management, you can click towards the right. So ayun lang, this ends the stock chart analysis and thank you for watching this video.